Good evening, ham radio operators, and welcome to the Weekend Wind Down Net. Before we get going, is there any emergency or priority traffic in this frequency? Now that camarada. Alright, well, this is Ernesto KI5PZN. That's Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November, and I am your net controller for this net. This net is heard through the University Link repeater system KA5D and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system M5OAK. If you're using the University Link repeater system, make sure your tone is set to 97.4. If you're using the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system, set your tone to 114.8. If you are outside of Austin, we would love to hear from you too. The way to get in is via Echolink by connecting to KA5D-R or N5OAK-R. You can also reach us via Allstar by connecting to node 51444. The Weekend Wind Down is a Rack 2 net. We get together on Sunday nights to talk about the weekend. Did you work on a project, barbecue, watch the movie, or were you stuck catching up on chores? Ham related or not, tell us, was your weekend a blast or a bust? Please note, this is a directed net, so please refer all calls to me, Net Control. And don't forget to leave room between check-ins and transmissions to allow for any emergency traffic. We are using the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Big thanks to Kyle, K5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club for letting me use their repeater system for this net. To learn more about the University Link repeater system, please visit ka5d.com. If you would like more information about the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, including how to become a member and how to join the club's Discord server, go to n5oak.org. It's free to join the club. Alright, well, let's start the Weekend Wind Down Net with a segment called Discord Dish, where we serve up our favorite Discord posts from the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Discord server. Alright, let's see. I don't have a whole lot this week. Been distracted with all kinds of stuff. But I'll say the first post or series of posts that I grabbed this week was from the Cars channel. You should check it out. Just a bunch of silliness there, but it was fun and it made me laugh. So that's on the Cars channel because we get a bunch of guys that are into cars and fixing cars and breaking cars. So go check that out. It's a fun thread there of all kinds of craziness on the Car channel. On the VHF and Up channel, there was a discussion. This was happened on Wednesday, where the guys, like four guys, we all got into the 900 megahertz repeater after the UTNet. That was interesting to hear everybody from all over the place. And there was a guy, I think, was linked. I think it was in either Colorado or somewhere up north. Might have been up there in Washington or Oregon, but it was an interesting evening. That was on Wednesday, like I said, after the UTNet, and that was on the 900 megahertz repeater system. You'll find those posting on the VHF and Up channel of Discord. On the propagation channel, that was posted a couple days ago by Bill and 5SMO. That was the VHF propagation, and that was on the 31st. It was a really good pretty good chunk there that had really good propagation throughout Texas and all the way over there to Louisiana. You can check that in the morning. You can Google the VHF propagation website, and you'll get to see that. It's a really great good way to know how things are happening around you. And if you have an antenna set up, you can call out on simplex on 2 meters and see where you get. So that's usually on the propagation channel. The guys are posting regarding propagation, so go and check it out. And there was a Fox this weekend. K5BZI was hosting the Fox. I was working all weekend doing all kinds of stuff, so I didn't follow the Fox Hunt channel. I can't talk. To see what happened over the weekend. I'm sure the guys had fun. And I don't know if he's going to be around tonight, or to be quite honest, I don't know when the Fox starts, when he's going to end it, but I bet it was fun. So that was happening this weekend. There's usually a lot of conversation on the Fox Hunt channel. I'm talking about hidden transmitter, in case you are new to ham radio. Let's see. Another good channel to check out, and that's, new and no so new ham, is the Antenna channel. Antenna channel, there's usually a good conversation. Usually people posting, asking questions or ideas. So there's a lot on that one, and there's usually on any given week you'll find really good discussions on the Antenna channel of Discord. For this week, I'll see if I can get more for this coming week. I'll get more, but it was a little bit of a busy week, so yeah, I got some there. So don't forget Discord. You can sign up; it's free. You can go on 50ak.org. You can scroll down and find the button to join the Discord server. It's free to join. It's a great place again to go and ask questions if you are a new ham or just new to the area, or it's a great place to just stay in touch and up to date with what's happening with the ham community around here. So it's a really good place to go and stay up to date. And again, like I said, it's free to go m50ak.org, scroll down, and join the fun. Station ID before I get in trouble here. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Papa Zulu November. On Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Okio Amateur Radio Club repeater system. I had a cool, good weekend. I was working, again, we've been, for those of you who haven't heard me yap about this, we've been working on this non-profit for a couple of years now, but we're about to get it up and running, well, hopefully within a couple of months. It's a home for individuals with intellectual disabilities, so they can go, adults, they can go live there when their parents are no longer around. So we've been doing a lot of construction for the last couple of months, and, if you guys know me in person, I ain't no spring chicken, so everything hurts. But it's been fun, it's been great, and it feels good to be able to get things done. So I've been working on that when I'm not working on my day job or when I'm not here, yapping on the radio. I worked there Friday, and then Saturday morning I went to the breakfast, the Waterloo Ice House breakfast. It was great. We have, over 25 people, getting close to 30 at this point. If you are interested, we get there every Saturday around 8 a.m., and we stay there for a couple of hours. And if you need the address, it's 8600 8600 Burnett Road. That's Austin, Texas, 78757, and that's Burnett Road, just south of 183. It's a good group of friends that we get together. That's been happening since forever. But it's a really good place to go. If you have questions, that's a great place to bring your questions. You'll meet new hams, older hams, and it's the group is getting bigger. It's really fun, and people, obviously, the word's been out there spreading, and we're getting new people every weekend. So go check it out if you have the time on Saturday in Waterloo Ice House, again 8600 Burnett Road at 8 a.m. Then after that, again went out there to the nonprofit, and I actually built a wall this weekend, and also within that wall put a a door, so I'm really feeling really proud of myself on getting handiwork done. And now I'm running this awesome net, so really, really happy to be here hanging out with you guys. But I'm curious, I wonder how everybody else's weekend went. That's called for check-in. So before we do that, let me do a quick ID. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Alright, well, any licensed operator is welcome to check in. New ham, if you're in New Ham, this net is New Ham friendly. We would love to hear from you too. Alright, well, any mode and anywhere, please come in with your call sign and your name if you would like to check in this awesome net.
This is November 5, Yankee Alpha November, David, North Campus.
This is Kilo 9, Lima Zulu Yankee, Rob up in Lakeway.
Alright, we got David and we got Rob. Who else would like to check in? Please call in with your name and call sign.
This is November 8, India Juliet, Ignacio Visitor.
This is
Kilo Juliet 5, Bravo Charlie, Charles, out northeast of Pflugerville.
We got David, Rob, Ignacio, and Charles. Let's go and check with Mr. David. David, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
Hey, thanks, Ernesto. I just finished moving in the sense that I got all the boxes from one apartment to the next, and I am dead. It's real hot out, and I probably made upwards of 30 trips, and so I'm not doing anything the rest of the night. I ordered some pizza. It's getting here soon, and I am just going to sit back and, take some Lactaid, but then after that, eat the pizza and go to sleep. So, yeah, that's about all, Ernesto. N5, YAN, back to net.
You're going to sleep really well tonight, like 30 trips. Are you talking about 30 trips in a car or just carrying boxes on foot? So what's the scoop here? I have questions. Back to you.
Yeah, totally. My parents are busy, so it was, 1 or 2 boxes per trip, and I just walk over there and dump them and come back and do it again. It wasn't too bad. I'm only on the 2nd floor in my old apartment and the 1st floor on my new one, so it wasn't too many stairs, but after a few trips, your arms and legs sort of start to get a little spaghetti-like, but, it's done now, and that's what matters.
Well, very cool, man. Congratulations on your new place. And it sounds like, so do you have your radio up, or are you using Echolink? Back to you.
Oh, no, yeah, this is Echolink, and that's why I was testing it earlier on the repeater, just to make sure it was all working. I haven't used Echolink since changing my call, and at first it wasn't working, but it all got sorted out. So, yeah, that's about it. I can't wait to get my radio set up, but I just don't have the energy to do it today, and but it'll get done probably tomorrow, and in time to run the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net on Wednesday. So, yeah, back to you, Ernesto.
Very cool. So is it like a bigger place? Do you have opportunity for antennas, outdoor antennas, or is it about the same, just moving, to a different location? Back to you.
Yeah, I got kicked out by my roommate's significant other, and I just had to find a new place. There's a balcony, a metal balcony, and I'm thinking about putting up a ham stick mount there. But, it's an older building, and the sliding glass door is on its last legs, and I don't know how I feel about opening and closing it all the time to run coax. But who knows? Maybe I'll get something working. But for now, I'm just going to continue with my old setup of the Ed Fong J-pole, duct tapes to the wall. It was one of those 3M hooks, so I don't break the paint. But I had that hooked to the wall, and just a short run of coax from my 2-meter rig, and that was my home setup. The rest I do online with a remote ham station, which is free for students to use. November 5, Yankee Alpha November, back to net.
Well, very cool, man. Well, it sounds like you are going to have more peace at your new place, so that's always better, regardless of whatever else is happening. Peace of mind is number one. So I'm glad to hear that you will be in a more peaceful area or peaceful place. So you're running the net this Wednesday. You're the guy. Back to you.
Probably. I don't think any other UTARC members are in town to run the net, but if anyone wants to step up to run the UT Amateur Radio Club net, let me know, and I'll send you the script and everything you need. But yeah, so far I'll be running it, and it's something I enjoy, so it's not a problem. And yeah, it's really nice to run the net when there's no school. Last semester I had a class that ended 15 minutes before the net started, so it was pretty hard to catch it, let alone get ready to run it. But it's a fun time. I really enjoy running the net, and I'm sure everyone else who's run the net before can understand that feeling of wanting to get on the radio just to help run the net. It's kind of addicting. Maybe I'm just weird. Who knows? Back to you, Ernesto.
No, man. I mean, I'm with you there. I enjoy running nets, and it's funny because when I'm not running the net, well, I don't live a very exciting life. So when I'm on the radio, I don't have a whole bunch of stuff to say except for just lame stuff that I do as an adult. But when I'm running the net, I get to talk to a bunch of people and ask them questions, and they do have stuff. They do have interesting stuff, so it's always good. I enjoy it. You get to talk to everybody, and you get to ask all kinds of questions. So it's fun. I mean, obviously, the first few nets that everybody runs are kind of weird and awkward and whatever, like anything else in life. But then once you kind of relax and realize that, this is amateur radio, you're allowed to mess up, and, everybody listening is just a regular person like you. You kind of chill and enjoy the net, running the nets. I do enjoy it a lot. Well, David, do you have anything else for the net before we move on, my friend?
No, sir. I just wanted to say thanks for running the net, and I'll catch you next Sunday, hopefully. 7-3, November 5, Yankee Alpha November, back to net.
All right, David, appreciate you checking into the net, and we'll be talking during the week, and I'll check into the Wednesday, to the UT net on Wednesday night. Well, very cool, man. Let me do a quick ID. Well, this is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto KI5PZN on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oakhill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. All right, well, that was David, N5YAN. Changing your call sign will take me 2 more years to learn it. Let's go check now with Rob, K9LZZY. Rob, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
Hey, pretty good. Just went down, hung out at the boat. I got a portable air conditioner, so I was down there and blasting myself with cool air, doing a little bit of cleanup. And then Sunday was all day researching WinLink and for Aries stuff. So yeah, overall pretty good. Back to net.
You know, that doesn't sound too bad. Hanging out at the boat and with AC. Oh boy, that sounds really good. Especially if you are able to, you know, jump in and go for a swim and cool down too. That would be really, really awesome with this heat. On WinLink, very cool. I went to, this is probably a couple of months ago, maybe a little bit more, to the WinLink training that Glenn and Rex did over there at the Red Cross. It was very informative. I figured that if I went in person, I will, you know, learn a lot quicker than researching, because computers are not my background, but it's a very interesting and useful thing too, even if you're not into emergency communication, because, you know, you could literally send emails through RF, so even if you're camping or somewhere else, you can still connect with people, or, you know, it's a very useful thing in my opinion, a really good tool to have and have it set up. Do you have it already up and running, or still working on that? Back to you, Rob.
Yeah, I got it set up. I got registered. I sent my first little email thing, and then I was all spurred by, I put it in Discord, but I watched an Army colonel talk about how they use NVIS and HF to do short distance and like 20 kilometers. And so that really kind of spurred my interest in digital and sending HF signals for short distance back to net.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny. When I first heard about that, I was really, really impressed, number one, because I didn't know that was a thing that you could do. And second, I think, yeah, out of all the tools, that's a really good one to have, the WinLink. And again, once you set it up, you know, you're good to go. But it's a really good tool, man. Any HF over the weekend? Back to you.
Oh, just poked at FT8 a little bit, and you know, got a contact in New Zealand, and just there's something going on with my noise out here in my neighborhood. I've got to hunt down who turned on their solar panels. So, but yeah, not much on the HF side. Back to net.
Well, right on, man. Yeah, it's a solar panel, and then you know, the winter starts, and it's the Christmas lights with the LED that makes us, you know, go insane with all that noise. There's always something. There's always something. Well, very cool, man. Glad to hear that, you know, things are going well, and you get to do some radio here and there, and you got your WinLink as well, and you still have time to go and hang out at your boat. Rob, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, just looking forward to a bright and early Monday morning for work. Back to net, 73 K9LZY.
Oh boy, you must be an artist, something like that, because I am dreading that one. And I'm self-employed, go figure. Well, very cool, Rob. I appreciate you checking into the net, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have an awesome week, and tomorrow it's awesome for work too. Somehow you like it. And we'll be talking, man. We'll be talking during the week, and hopefully I'll catch you also during the net as well. That was Rob, K9LZY, and we're going to now check with Ignacio, N8IJ. Ignacio, what is going on, my friend? How is the weekend treating you?
Nestor, mi compadre, I am very happy visiting my son, my daughter-in-law, and my grandson, who it's like the best time of my life. So weekend is excellent. I did take a side trip to Bastrop Gun Show, and I enjoyed that. That's about it. You know, just a good time. Back to you, and Nestor.
Well, very cool, man. Sounds like a good weekend. Got to spend some time with your family. How is your grand kiddo? Back to you, Ignacio.
He is growing quickly. Oh, my Lord. You know, I visit him at least once a year, sometimes twice, sometimes three. But since I last visited, he was crawling on the floor. Now he's walking around and talking. So it's just amazing how quickly they grow. Back to you, Nestor.
Oh, no, man. It's just It's one of those things that it's funny. I saw somewhere a while back a bumper sticker, and that stuck with me because it's the truth. And it said, I remember it says, I sneezed, and then I'm 50. And that's the way life feels. Is that your only grand kiddo? Back to you, Ignacio.
Nestor, right now is my one and only, but it looks like there are two more on the way. So I'll have more traveling to do. Oh my Lord! So, by the way, offline, not now, but I've got a story I need to share with you. Hopefully, I'll make it to the Saturday breakfast. It's a long story, so I don't want to take up network time. But anyway, here's the thing. I might end up having a place here in Texas. That's the end of it. So anyway, back to you, Nestor.
And that means that you will have a permanent radio NHF here in Texas, which is super awesome. That's really good news. So definitely we'll love to have you there on Saturday and get some chatting going on. Did you get anything at the Bastrop gun show? Ignacio, back to you.
No, I didn't. It was a good gun show. I enjoyed it. People were, everyone in Texas, they're so friendly, right? And Texas stands out with that. It's a very friendly culture. So I had a great time talking to people, get to know people. But I was looking for two things: Smith & Wesson 645 38 and special, and Ruger LCP Max 380 ACP. Two very specific guns, and of what they had, it did fit my requirements. But I still enjoyed going out there. It was a great trip, a very good time. Back to you, Nestor.
Very cool, man. Yeah, I enjoy it's been a while. I think the last gun show that we went to was at Belton. Because there's one, I think it's on this one that's coming up at the beginning of October. They have the Hemfest at the Belton Expo, whatever they call it. I think they just changed the name, so it's something else, the whatever Belton place. And next door, they had a pretty decent gun show. We had a great time. It was just too many people and hard to walk around, but it's entertaining. I grew up with guns around and all that stuff, so I like them. And yeah, what you say about people from Texas? Let me let it reset here for a second. Yeah, it's a good thing, man, for sure. I've been here for 24 years, I think, and yep, everybody that I meet around here is really friendly, so I'm really happy that I ended up here, because these people here are really, really good. It's a good area for sure, man. Well, very cool. Glad to hear that the tribe is growing. You're getting a couple of grandkids on their way, so that's pretty neat. And also neat to hear that you might end up here having a place here in Texas. Do you currently have an HF set up where you're staying, Ignacio? Back to you.
Strangely enough, I have more radios here than anywhere else, because I used to have a house here, not here in Austin, but in Dripping Springs. And when I moved, I just put everything to storage and promptly forgot about it. Just paid automatically every month, and completely forgot I had the storage. And just recently, I remembered. Oh, wait a minute! And I went to look, and I have several HF rigs. I've got VHF, UHF. I've got satellite. I've got everything in storage, and it's been there for a long time. Now, it's in storage. It's in a box. It's not in my ham shack. In fact, I'm going to convert an RV into my ham shack here and just leave it with my son. But that's my goal anyway. Back to you, Nestor.
Very cool, man. You might want to talk to Ray, K5BZI. He's got an RV and he's got radios and all of the shenanigans installed on that RV. So he might have good ideas on antennas and all of those things. So, well, very cool, Ignacio. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
Yes, Nestor. I have a very technical question, which only you can answer. so I'm reading this book on Puerto Rican cuisine, and your version of the sofrito, I'm making empanadas, by the way, Puerto Rican empanadas, is different than the one I use in Spain. We use onions, bell peppers, sometimes tomatoes and garlic and all those things. But the Puerto Rican one seems to have all these different ingredients. What are you familiar with in terms of the sofrito? What do you make sofrito with?
Oh man, it's been I can't even remember because it's been more than 15 years for sure. But I know cilantro was part of the mix, and I do have it here. I have the recipe for sofrito. So after the net, I have your email address. I'm gonna send you the list of what we use for sofrito. And boy, oh boy, it's funny. I'm starting to get hungry now by just thinking about those things. So you're making empanadas, Puerto Rican empanadas. Oh my goodness, yeah, man, it's funny. I mean, I know I'm Puerto Rican, but I usually, I stay away from the Puerto Rican cuisine except for when I go down to Puerto Rico. It's delicious stuff, but it tends to clog my veins. I have bad genes, so I have to stay away from it except for when I go on vacation. How do you've been eating Puerto Rican food for a while? Is that something that you're experimenting now? Back to you.
The last time I had Puerto Rican food was when I visited Puerto Rico, which was very long time ago, and I enjoyed that trip thoroughly. Absolutely had a blast in Puerto Rico. The people, the food, the drinks, oh my God, everything. I had to get out of there because I almost ended up married there. So I had to take a quick exit. So, but no, this is new to me. I've been doing Puerto Rican food cooking for the first time. Back to you, Nestor.
Well, very cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. I gotta tell me how that turned out. I'd like to know. But yeah, man, I will send you an email after the net with a list of the things that we put on ours, and you get to compare it. And maybe for the next time, you can try that other way and see which one you prefer. But very cool, man. I'm really jealous. That sounds like heaven. Are you doing that today? Are you doing empanadas today, or is that something you're just planning for? Whenever you get the chance, you're making the sofrito first. Back to you.
No, my evenings are every evening. I do my favorite thing is just spoil my grandson, play with him, tuck him in. So no, it'll be during the week. Well, I'm not sure. I'm hoping to do it this week. But as you know, when you're with family, they make the plans and follow along. That's the way it works, and I'm happy to do that. So I'm really enjoying my time with the kids here. All right, back to you, Nestor.
Well, very cool, man. Glad to hear that. Glad that you're working on it. Like I said, I'll be sending you that list, and you get to compare and pick your ingredients there. Well, Ignacio, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
Just one thing, very short thing. At the Thursday night club net, somebody, I forgot their call signs. I didn't write them down, but there was a discussion about DMR, and I just happened to look at DMR, and I'm implementing Code 2 of the encoding decoding for audio, which is open source as opposed to the Motorola DMR, and that was the issue during the discussion. And there was talk about doing it on Discord, the utility that the club uses. Now, I haven't gotten on Discord, but I'm going to go on there and post it. But do you remember the call sign of the person that was doing that discussion?
A few of the guys that are into DMR, I know K5JM is on DMR. I know KB5MPJ, Jason, is also on that. And K7TVA, David, also message around with that. Those are usually the guys that I see on Discord, because we have a channel just for DMR, and I know the guys are always out there. And there's a few others. I know there's a bunch of guys that are into DMR, but those are the three that I can think of now, maybe because those are the last few that I've talked to in the last few days. But might have been one of those three, but if not, I would recommend going to Discord and going to the DMR channel, because then you'll find all of the nerds that work with DMR, and you can get all your answers, your questions answered there for sure, man. Back to you.
I will do that. Thank you very much for that advice. I have yet to open Discord, but I will open it up and do that. And so that's it for me. Like I said, very enjoyable weekend, and this night is a great way to wind up the weekend. So 73 to you and to everyone on the net. Nestor, back to you.
Oh, awesome, Ignacio, and I appreciate you checking into the net. It's my pleasure talking to you. We had a good chat over there at Maynard the other day, so looking forward to seeing you again in person. Hopefully you'll make it to one of this Saturday breakfast, so thanks again, man. All right, that was Ignacio, N8IJ. Let me do a quick ID here. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Papa Zulu November. We're here every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. All right, well, we just talked to Ignacio. Let's go and check with Charles, KJ5VLC. Charles, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
KJ5VLC here. Actually, it's gone pretty well. A lot of things kind of happened. One of the first things I wanted to make a note of is Thursday night, I went to the Williamson County Amateur Radio Club meeting. There was a whole big discussion about the FCC comments on the, and I can't remember exactly what it's called, but basically they're looking at putting up 20,000 stations to do stock trading via HF, and with a bandwidth it looks like something on all kinds of JCN network. So I just wondered if anybody else had heard any more about that. Next pause. Then on Saturday, I had a big thing with another group that I'm involved with, Austin Astronomical Society. They hosted Austin Under the Stars. My son convinced me I ought to take my old plastic telescope out, but unfortunately altogether weighs over 250 pounds, so it was quite an event to get it all set up on Saturday and then load it up and then take it out Saturday night. And we had a great time, way past my bedtime. It went 6 to 11:30, and once we loaded up about midnight, and I'm 40 minutes away from there where they had it. So it was a late night for me. Next pause. The other thing I did is I've been looking at logging software, and so for kicks I went on the ARRL website and did the Logbook of the World, and they sent me the postcard, and I got my call sign certified, so I guess I'm legit there if I want to upload anything. And then finally today, I finally got a chance after recuperating from last night. I got a really cheap 12-volt power supply to hook up to that radio that I picked up at the raffle. And it was cheap because I realized when I opened up the box, I even had to wire the 110 into it. So I found an old plug, set it up, and got that going. But the good news was it did power up. Looks like it was probably a marine radio use, and so first step accomplished. It does power up, and now I can see if I can switch the channels and see what I can do with it. Anyway, also broke down and decided to order a sort of a base station UHF, VHF radio in cheap version, but still it's coming this next week, so that'll be good. And that's pretty full time for me, so back to you, Ernesto.
Very cool, Charles. Just an FYI, your transmission is on the crackly side of the spectrum, so I'm not sure if it's if you have more power, if you can crank it up a little bit, might make it a little bit better. And if you're using an HD, well, maybe moving a little bit will probably clear up. But I copy all of that stuff, man, for sure. And Sonny, I've never gone to the Williamson County activities with that club. I know they have a breakfast on Saturday mornings because our friend Rick, AI5JT, goes there sometimes. But they're super early. I think because our breakfast starts at 8, and I think those guys start like 6:30 or something like that. And I get up early, but I need at least an hour or so to have coffee and warm up so that I could be social, and that's why I haven't I haven't met the guys. And also they do get I know their meetings are usually on Thursdays too, so that kind of conflicts with the net. But well, very cool, man. You get to play with the telescope as well. That sounds awesome. Yeah, if I was going to go, that late at night, I'll have to have some coffee before heading out. But that's something it's on my list of things to do. Getting a telescope and getting out there with those guys, because I usually hear about those. But the problem is time. Time is not on my side. But one of these days, I have it on the list of things to do. And good, man, really cool that you got also the login software all, set up for contesting. That's very nice. It's funny, I haven't gotten into contesting, so I haven't signed up with any of those guys. I just have a book, an actual paper log, because I'm old and lame. But very cool, man. I'm let's see, you got that going on there, and a new radio. What do you get, man? What kind of radio do you order? Back to you.
Oh, and the number escapes me, and it's from a company I'm not sure I can pronounce very well, but they're well known. You tell me how you say it. Is it Radio Oddity or anyway? They had a pretty cheap deal. It plays VHF, UHF, 4 channels at a time, and so anyway, like I say, it's got a 25-watt output or a 10, and so it looked like for the money, I think it was a little over $100. So I thought, well, that's worth it. But I don't remember the number on it. That's what got me in a weak moment on Amazon. Anyway, back to you.
Well, very cool, man. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not gonna try because I have an accent, and it will be even worse. So I think that's how you say it, Radiodity. I had an HD from those guys. It was pretty solid, and it could withstand rain and all that. I gave it to my son's stepdad so he could have it at the house, because he's also ham, in case he wanted to jump in. But I think that's I've never heard anybody complaining about those radios and that brand. So I think unless you get a brand new Lemon, it should work just fine, and you should be able to get good mileage on that radio. So that's really cool. Are you planning on putting it on your vehicle, or is that going to be a base station for you? Back to you.
My plan is to do it as a base station. I'm in an RV right now, so that's kind of my plan at first. I may move it over to a vehicle at some point, but for now, working with the net, it's a lot easier to do it in air conditioning than it is in a truck. So anyway, that's it for now. And I'm probably going to have to say goodbye at this point, so 73 to everyone, and thank you, Ernesto, for running this net, and everybody have a great rest of your weekend and a good week coming up. KI5PGN, this is KJ5.
Well, rock on, man. I appreciate you checking into the net. I'm glad to hear about all of those things that you've been doing. Sounds like you are busy in a good way. And let us know how that radio worked out once you bring it in. I usually have a couple of mobile radios here at the house as well. So very cool, man. Thanks for checking into the net. And that was Charles, KJ5BLC. Let me do a quick ID before the feds get mad at me. This is a weekend wind down net hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, that's Papa Zulu November, and we're here every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Alright, well, we were talking to Charles, KJ5BLC, and he was the last one here on this first round of check-ins. So I am going to go ahead and open the floor again for check-ins in case there's people out there who... So if you'd like to check into the net, please call net control with your name and your call sign.
This is KB5MPJ, Jason and Buda.
This is KG5TNF, Johnny in Austin.
Alright, we got Jason and we got Johnny. Anybody else who'd like to check into this awesome net, please call net control with your name and call sign. Well, alright, let's go and say hi to Jason, KB5MPJ. Jason, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
This is KB5MPJ. Pretty good, Ernesto. I've been just trying to do as much indoor stuff as I can. I went to the indoor rock climbing gym yesterday. Let's see, I saw the movie Oppenheimer today. I went swimming, and I heard you talking about WinLink. That's something that I've been kind of wanting to try. I'm set up to do packet radio on HF and VHF, UHF, but I've never done WinLink, and I assume that's related, right? Like, do you do that through a packet BBS?
Well, Jason, I am not a computer person, but you download a software. You download a software, and then you set that software, you set it up, and it's kind of like using, in my mind, it's kind of like using Outlook. Once you have it set up, back to you.
Okay, yeah, so I guess it is different than just having the terminal for Packet. I don't really know that much about Packet either. Like, I've gotten on it a little bit, but I haven't really done that much with it. I was kind of wanting to find something to do with it, like WinLink or something, since I got set up for it. So yeah, I'll look into that. I didn't know they had a presentation on it, but I'm sure I can figure it out. Looking it up online or something. KB5MPJ.
Well, Jason, the people that are really, big on this, usually the Aries guys, you know them, Rex and Glenn, they usually at the Saturday morning breakfast. So, I don't know, if you want to, feel free to bring your laptop one of these days, and they'll hook you up and, let you know what needs to be done there. But it's from what I saw, this is I think it was the beginning of the year that I went to that. Obviously it's easier for me when there's somebody in front of me explaining and I'm making notes and doing it at the same time. But since you're a computer guy, once they tell you, you probably will figure it out and know everything that needs to be done. But yeah, I would check with Rex or Glenn, and you can ping them on Discord, because they're on Discord, both of them. Or you can post something on the Aries channel, just to see, because I'm not sure. I don't know if they have a training coming up for WinLink or not. But if not, I'm sure they should be able to point you to the right place to get that set up. But it's not very difficult, so I figure. If it's not that difficult for a non-computer person, that should be pretty simple once you see the layout and how it works. Back to you.
Comment?
Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, this is K9LCY. I was the one making the comment about WinLink. Yeah, if you go to winlink.org, you'll have to sign up, and then they register you, make sure that you're a licensed ham, and then you basically can send email via their system itself. So a lot of people use it. They get like, weather maps and that kind of stuff, and the Aries folks use it too. Back to net.
You get all of that, Jason?
Yeah, so I got winlink.org, and what were you saying about getting weather and stuff through it? Is it like, do you sign up for bulletins or something, or how do how do you get that?
Yeah, so the weather actually, it's .grb files, and mostly the people on sailboats get that, so they can get their weather updates when they're 200, 300, 500 miles out at sea, and they can get it via HF and using WinLink to be able to get those weather maps and install them into their navigation software. So that's a really big use case worldwide, and it works worldwide. So, but yeah, that's just one of those things. That's why I got interested in it. Back to net.
Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty neat. Yeah, of course, I'm always dabbling in something, with radio and computers. I came across a RTTY signal on 10.100 that was very strong and seems like it's there every night. And I finally found information about it, and it's a German maritime weather service, and they have a schedule of broadcasts, and you have to set up custom RTTY baud rates and everything, but once you get it, it'll come across on your screen, and I was getting weather alerts in kind of like this bilingual German and English. It's like some of it's in English and some of it's in German, and so just kind of an interesting little deal. So yeah, I'd probably like to get the WinLink weather updates too. So yeah, I'll check that out.
Cool. Thank you, Rob, for that information. And well, Jason, now you have something there to go by. And I don't know if you knew, Jason, but Rob is on Discord, K9LZY. Just in case you want to ping him, sorry, Rob, I'm putting you there. I'm volunteering you to help Jason with that information, but sounds like Rob's got that information way fresher in his head than yours truly, so there you have it.
Okay, yeah, WinLink's been on my list of radio want-to-dos, and I've just never, gotten into it. And you might have heard me ask on the Elmernet. Antenna modeling was another one of my want-to-dos that I kind of started on a little bit, too. So I've always got something I'm trying out on radio and software related to radio.
Yeah, yesterday I was in the Elmernet. I know Jeff sent you to another website that sounds that it might be a little bit easier to use for that. And like he said, Lou, W5IFQ, he's antenna guy, so anything that you need model, you can talk to him, and he told me to get people in touch with him, and he's more than happy to help whoever needs help on modeling an antenna. That's the guy who model antennas for the military and all that stuff. He really knows what he's talking about. So just let me know. I don't know if I've sent you his email address, but if not, I can put you guys in contact if you guys want to. Because I know that you're the reason why you're getting it because you want to build more complicated antennas than what you have right now. So I think he will be a good resource for something like that. So just did I send you his email address? Back to you, Jason.
So I've got it. So Jeff gave it to me, but it sounded like he wasn't 100% sure that that it was the correct address. He said it was at att.net, but then I think he said, well, I'm not sure about that, so I don't know if I've really got the correct email address or not.
Well, give me a nanosecond here, and I will tell you in a second, real quick.
Yeah, or you can send it to me on Discord or something too. You know, if you want to do it later.
Net. Yeah, that's the email address for him.
I think I doubled with you. Did you say it's att.net?
Yes, it's att.net. His call sign at att.net is his email.
Okay, yeah, I'll shoot him an email if there's something that I can't figure out.
Yeah, dude, and thank you for letting me know about that round table on 11 meters on Friday night. It's that was very interesting, and it sounded like most of them are hams, and the conversation got very technical to the point where I got lost on what the guys were discussing. I find it kind of ironic that I go to 11 meters to be confused with the conversation. Were you able to hear like a big bunch of them? I probably have like 3 or 4 people that I was able to hear. Back to you.
Yeah, I was hearing all of them. I think I was on with 3 people, and then Ray got on there, and I got on again last night, and they were on there. They all live down here, you know, somewhere, you know, Buda and South Austin. I actually met the guys first on FM Simplex on 2 meters, and then they just told me, yeah, we like to get on 11 meters at night, you know, so they invited me to join them, and that's how I found out about it.
Interesting, because they're hams. What do you think that they go on 11 meters? Why do you think that's the chosen band to go and back you at nighttime instead of going to like HF? Back to you.
Well, I mean, they're all just talking to each other, so you know they could use Simplex, like 2 meter Simplex. They're all local, so you know they don't really need the reach of getting on like 40 meters or something or 80. So I think that's a lot to do with it. And I think they had a friend. I never met the guy, but they were talking about a guy that they knew that moved away that never got a ham license. And so I think they, you know, would talk to him. So that's probably another reason. So yeah, I think they probably just kind of like him. And I did talk to one of them. Who was saying that, you know, he had been doing 11 meters a long time. I mean, just kind of like me, that was the first radio that I ever had was 11 meters, so I still kind of like it. You know, like even when other hams have turned their nose up at it, it's like, you know, I don't care. I mean, I had fun with that, and I still do. So, you know, as long as I'm not hurting anybody, I'm going to have fun with something that I'm enjoying.
Yeah, no, man, absolutely. I'm with you. Radio is radio, and they're all fun. I don't have, you know, to me, it's all radio. I have, for those of you listening, I have 1, 2, 3 CBs here next to me, and one in the truck. Oh, no, I have 4, because one of them is an HD. I do enjoy 11 meters. There's a round table that I get on 40 meters every evening and every morning. It's on 7133, and obviously they're all extra. And the majority of them, during the daytime, they all switched to 11 meters, and I thought it was interesting too. They go to 11 meters during the daytime, and then, or you know, after the early mornings or during the day, and then in the evenings they go back to 7133. So it's really neat. And for those of you listening, we are talking about, this is a round table that Jason KB5MPJ let me know, and it's on 11 meters. And it's on channel 39, lower sideband. Very friendly group of people, very respectful, no clowns on that round table, and it got to the point where it was too technical for me, so I get to a point where I have to tune out because I did not understand what the guys were talking, because radios or computers are not my background. So are they there like night, or like, because you said you found them yesterday too? I guess it's a place where you can find them in the evenings. Back to you.
It was Friday night and also sometimes Saturday night.
Right on, man. I'm gonna keep an eye out for those guys and monitor now that we don't have a net on Friday. I'll keep an eye out and see if I can talk to those guys while they're not talking about technical stuff. Well, very cool, Jason. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, I think that's it. So yeah, I'll let you have it back to net control, KB5MPJ.
All right, friend. Well, I appreciate you checking in. It's always good talking to you, man. And hopefully we'll stay in touch during the week. And we'll hopefully see you on Saturday at breakfast. All right. Well, that was Jason, KB5MPJ from Buda. Let me do a quick ID here, and you are listening to the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto KI5PZN. We're here every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. All right, well, that was Jason, like I said, KB5MPJ. Now we are going to check with KG5TNF. Here is Johnny.
I miss Johnny Carson. I was a young feller, and I enjoyed that guy. Yeah, I've had a pretty fun weekend. I got an email from NASA about the International Space Station coming over on Friday evening. They will tell you the direction. For example, it was northwest, and it'll say something like it'll appear at 10 degrees and climb up to 50 degrees, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I stood over here by the school, and good long pass, no clouds at all. I didn't time it, but it used up several minutes actually. Checked into the Flying Pig Net. That's on a Friday night. That's airplane talk, and it's on Echolink is how I can connect to them. They're up around Wisconsin and all. Bunch of nice people. There's a little bit of talk about the couple of plane crashes in around Oshkosh, the big fly-in that happens every year. Unfortunately, I guess 3 people had died this year. I won't go into all that, but yeah. Now, I was going to go to the breakfast. I need to get a bulletin board and put it on the ceiling over my bed, because evidently I can't remember to do that. I don't know why. I was having fun messing around, but it wasn't with you guys. Anywho, checked into my radio guys in Dallas doing that on Saturday night. I can check in and listen to all their fun talk. They do, if you're into movies, you have to be into movies to want to do this, but they'll pick some sci-fi movie or some other kind of movie that's interesting and tear it apart. It's a lot of fun. Let me pause. Yeah, I've had a lot of outdoor activity, actually, though. I'm an early riser, and I'll be out before daylight drinking my coffee and feed the neighborhood cats, and it is so much nicer that time of the day when it's 80 degrees and a little breeze blowing. Yeah, puttering around the house and listening to the radio, and that's about it. Everybody have a good one. KG5TNF back to monitoring.
Well, very cool, Johnny. Glad to hear that. Sounds like you had a good weekend there. I remember when I first got licensed, I was chasing that space station because they were doing the slow scan TV where they beam out, they start transmitting images. And I remember I was waiting for it. Back then I had an app that shows you where the space station is, and I got out there with my HT and my cell phone with another app, and I was able to download the pictures that they were transmitting. That was very, very, very exciting as a new ham. I was pretty surprised that I could get that signal just using a regular HT. Have you done anything like that with the space station? Back to you, Johnny.
Well, I'm really interested in doing that. In fact, not just the space station, making contacts through the amateur satellites when they come over. But I didn't know you could do that. The slow scan, that would be a lot of fun. Receiving that from the space station. I started to make a Yagi 2 or 3 years ago. I just never do get it done. I have all these things I want to do. I never do seem to get them done. Back to you.
I hear you. I know. I have a long list of things that I want to do too, and there's always something important. But yeah, slow scan TV. If you go to if you have an HF radio, I usually hear them on 20 meters around 14.200 and I don't know, like 200 and in the mid 200s, somewhere in the mid 200. You start scanning up and down, and you hear that sound. It sounds like an old fax making that tone, and I have an app on my phone, and you can put it next to the speaker, and you would also get the signal, the images that people are sending out that way. Even if you don't have a general license, because all you're doing is just listening, you can always listen and get those images that are sent out. I really got into it when I first got licensed. There's another app that encodes an image that you have, and you can send it out too, but then I stopped doing that. But yeah, absolutely, man, and you can do that just with HT and the rubber duck antenna, at least for the one that when the space station flies over you, you could grab it just like that. I didn't have any antenna, any different antenna, just the HT rubber ducky that came with the radio. So there's a bunch of stuff that we can do. And man, you need to put an alarm on your radio and on your telephone so that you can get up and you can go there on Saturday. We had, I think close to 30 people this Saturday, so you will definitely have a good time if you go to Waterloo Ice House for breakfast. We'd love to have you there. Do you do any other radio during the weekend? Any DX or anything like that by any chance? Back to you.
I'm always monitoring. I'm really glad that I met all you guys and discovered these new frequencies that I can go to, and I've really enjoyed that. I was going to tell you, the space station, the guys and gals up there on the space station, I've watched them on YouTube do this. They'll make contacts with kids in school. It's really enlightening, and it makes you feel good inside to see those kids talking on the radio to a guy or a gal on the International Space Station. It's pretty fantastic technology when you think about it. Anyway, I've had a pretty fun weekend. I do a lot of monitoring. There's a net, or not a net, but some guys meet up, as you know, on 444.2. And a lot of times I'm doing something at that time, and I'll just say, 73, everybody, have a good day, you know, when they're starting to sign off. Anywho, I guess I'll give it back to you, KG5TNF.
Yeah, that's Roy and the guys in the mornings, weekdays at 444-200. They get started over there like around 6:30 in the morning until around 7-ish. And then the traffic switched to the 444-100, and then those are the guys driving and commuting to work, and that usually goes for another hour or so. And yeah, that's the morning traffic. I'm usually listening, and I just can't participate because at that time, Mireya or if Enrique's here, my son, they're sleeping because they don't get up that early, so I just listen. Yeah, I've been listening to those guys for like 2 years now, and I hear you there in the mornings too. I've heard you. I just can't jump in because people are sleeping around me, but very cool, man. No, it's a very active community here in this area, so definitely you net almost every night and people on the repeater all the time, so yeah, I get it, man. I am also enjoying this, so I'm really also happy that I found this. Talking about talking to the space station. I was driving yesterday, and it was mid-morning, I think, and I heard this guy on Simplex 146-520. I think he was there, and he was here in Austin, somewhere in Austin, and he was talking to a guy in North San Antonio, but the guy in North San Antonio was flying an airplane, like I'm guessing one of those little airplanes, and I could hear him so clearly here in Austin. Obviously, he was way up there, so I guess it's equivalent of having an antenna that high in the air. So I was really impressed of how good the audio was, and he was talking. You know, after he talked to the guy in Austin, he kept talking to other guys while he was up there flying in San Antonio, but. You get a little bit of everything in this hobby / service. You know, like I was telling somebody the other day. I've heard people. I've known people who've been ham since the 70s, and they're still discovering new things. They like every week they discover new things in this hobby. So. There's plenty of things to learn. I'm fairly new. I got my license a little bit over 2 years ago, and I consider myself very green on the ham radio. But it's been a lot of fun, man, for sure. It's been a really good thing to get into. Are you planning on getting your general, Johnny? Back to you.
Yeah, I have a lot of interest in doing that. I had commented a couple weeks ago to somebody about being interested in parks on the air, because I like to get out and get away and spend a night somewhere, build a fire, and being able to talk on the radio would really, really add to your camping trip, And I'm thinking about which radio and what kind of antenna, like I guess the end-fed antenna is probably the way to go for portable setup like that. Talking about the motorcycle, though, airplane. I've ridden motorcycles my whole life, and these touring bikes, they've got a really nice communication system. Noise-canceling mic, you've got headphones made that go inside your helmet, and you can talk just like I'm talking to you right now, and you're going down the road on a motorcycle at 70 miles an hour. It's pretty fun stuff. A couple weeks ago, I heard a guy on a motorcycle. He had his ham radio set up on it, and heard him talking to another guy, and he was just clear as a bell. It's really amazing technology, especially the noise-canceling technology. Back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go and check KA5D.com. KA5D.com. Kyle is the dude. He runs the University Link repeater system. and he's got a couple of motorcycles. It might have been him, and he's got a really sweet setup on those bikes. One of them is it's an electric bike, and it's like the Iron Man type of thing. That he's riding on his bike, and then he gets on the handbands, and he's talking to people, and he's like, wait, I got to take a phone call, and he switches the phone call, and he comes back to the handbands, and this is all while he's riding his motorcycle, and it's very, very good audio. So you want to check Kyle, KA5D.com. He's got those projects on his website, and it's very neat. So yeah, I get it. First time I heard him, I thought he was joking, and then once I realized that he was real, I looked him up, and I was pretty impressed with that setup. So are you planning on doing something like that with your motorcycle? Back to you.
It's actually been quite a few years ago for me. I don't have a touring go places bike anymore, and but boy, is it fun. I mean, there would be, like 10 of us, say, in a little group that would be going somewhere, and you got the camaraderie of riding and going down the road and talking to each other. It's really, really fun. But no, I don't. Not riding anything right now. Been a couple of years, I guess, since I've had a bike. But I've been in and out of them my whole life. I've had dozens of different motorcycles. I used to sell them. I used to be in the business, actually. My father was a Harley-Davidson motorcycle dealer, and that got me hooked on riding all of these different bikes and different brands of bikes. We'd take them in on trade, and anyway, I've had a whole lifetime of it. Kind of out of it right now, but anyway, back to you.
No, man, I hear you. I got my first bike when I was 15 years old, and always had bikes. Right now they're dead. I have to fix them in front of the house, but it's also on my list of projects to do. Well, Johnny, do you have anything else for the net before we move on, my friend?
No, sir. It's good to hear all of you guys sharing your activities and all. KG5TNF back to monitoring. 73, everybody.
All right, Johnny, thanks again for checking into tonight's net. Pleasure talking to you, and we hope to see you on the Saturday morning breakfast at Waterloo Ice House. Well, that was Johnny, KG5TNF. And let's see, I think it's time to wrap up the net because we have the SWAT net coming up in only, 13 minutes. So, all right, well, before we wrap up the net, let me read you a list of some of the local nets so that you can stay radioactive throughout the week. We get started on Mondays. We have 4 nets on Mondays. Boy, are we busy and active. We start here with the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club 6-meter Monday. That's on the 50.125 megahertz, 50125 megahertz, at 8 p.m. on Mondays. Also at 8 p.m., actually all of them are at 8 p.m., it's the Williamson County Amateur Radio Club Newham net. That's on the 146.640 megahertz repeater. Also on Monday is the weekly YL net. That's on the Oak Hill repeater system. That's a really interesting one. We started last week. We linked in last week to that one. It's a group in the Fort Worth area. I can't talk. Ladies, and it's really interesting. They call for everybody after they get all of the ladies talking. Everybody can check in. So check it out. That's on Mondays at 8 p.m. Also on Mondays at 8 p.m. after the summer, the Texas A&M University Amateur Radio Club Information and Training Net. That's on the University Link repeater system at 8 p.m. On Tuesdays, we have 2 nets, and both of them are at 8 p.m. Man, we get started with the Oak Hill Southside Simplex, hosted by Ray, K5BZI. That's on the 146.555 megahertz frequency at 8 p.m., 146.555. And then also at 8 p.m., we have the Absolute Tech Net, and that's on the Oak Hill repeater system, again at 8 p.m., the Absolute Tech Net. TechNet on Tuesdays. Wednesday, the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Net. It's on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system at 8 p.m. David, N5YAN, is going to be running it this Wednesday, so go and say hi to him. On Thursdays, we have two nets. We have the Oak Hill CW net hosted by Pat, W5WTH, and that's on the 3.532 megahertz frequency at 7:30 p.m. 3.532 megahertz. You don't have to be a good CW operator to hop in. You can use a computer to send and receive if you want to. You can use an app to decode as well. They're very friendly and very patient. They even talk to me on CW, which I really suck, but they still talk to me. They're very nice. So a great net to jump in and get started on CW. On Thursdays at 8 p.m., the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net is hosted by a different operator every week, and that's on the M5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system, again at 8 p.m. On Fridays, the last Friday of the month, I am going to go out and visiting a different operator. That's considering that I get invitations to go to their place. But at least on this month of August, we're going to be crashing Rusty's place, WZ5 BBS. I'll show up with some tacos, and we'll be running the net and talking to people. So if you would like to participate, shoot me an email for October, and I'll show up at your place, and we'll eat some tacos and run a net and talk with everybody. All you need to have is a good, either a mobile or a base station with a good repeater reach, and that's all you need. We'll get out there and have fun. Again, that's on the last Friday of the month. On Saturdays, we have the K5LBJ News and Information Net. That's on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 10 a.m. At 7 p.m. on Saturday, the Austin Amateur Radio Club Elmer's Net, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW, and that's on the 146.940 megahertz repeater, again at 7 p.m. At 9 p.m., it's the 220, on Saturdays, the 220 megahertz Guys Original Preservation Net, hosted by Steve, KB9DSQ, and that's on the 224.100 megahertz repeater, again at 9 p.m. And if you don't have a 220 radio, you can use Echolink to check into that net. It's a fun net. And if you use Echolink, you connect to WM9W-R. That's Whiskey Mike Niner Whiskey Romeo. On Sundays, we also have 4 nets. Man, we have a bunch of nets. On Sundays, we start with the Austin Amateur Radio Club 10-meter weekly net. That's on the 28.410 megahertz at 3 p.m., 28.410. At 7 p.m., we have the Travis County Aries weekly net. That's on the 147.360 megahertz repeater at 7 p.m. At 7:30, this one, the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by me, Ernesto, KI5PZN, and we are on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system as well. And coming up in 7 minutes, the Austin Amateur Radio Club Swap Net, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW, and that's on the 146.940 megahertz repeater, again at 9 p.m. coming up, so don't forget to go and check that out. That's on the 146.940 repeater. And don't forget to go to n5oak.org to check the calendar for the DMR machine. We have nets almost every night on the DMR machine, and you can also check all of these nets on the n5oak.org. You can go to the nets, the calendar for the nets, and you can check all of these nets. Those are the nets that we have access to, so you can stay radio active throughout the week. Local nets, obviously there's more nets on HF and on Echolink, but those are the ones that we usually reach via RF around here. All right, well, let's get a count on tonight's check-in. We had 6 check-in, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for checking in into tonight's net, and that was David, Rob, Ignacio, Charles, Jason, and Johnny. Thank you guys for checking in. and for participating. Well, thank you for joining me tonight on the Weekend Wind Down Net. I hope that even if your weekend was a bust, and definitely if it was a blast, that we all keep the momentum, focus on the positive, and here is to a great start to your week. Thanks again to Kyle, KA5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club and 50AK for letting me use their repeater system to run this net. To learn more about the University Link repeater system, please visit ka5d.com. If you would like to learn more about the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, including how to become a member and how to join the club Discord server, please visit m5oak.org. I'm Ernesto, KI5PZN, and from my QTH in East Austin, Texas, 73, and thanks again for participating and listening tonight. The system is now returned to regular amateur use. Good night, y'all.
Quick comment, Ernesto.
Go for it.
You said the Elmer's net on 146.940, I believe. What was the day and time of that?
Yeah, you bet, man. That's every Saturday at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. every Saturday on the 146.940. That's the Elmer's net, and yeah, now it's the SWAT net that's about to start, the same one, and that's at 9 p.m. on Sundays.
My friend, 73, KG5, TNF, back to monitoring.
All right, Johnny, good talking to you. This is KI5PZN, and I'll be clear for now.